Hey there and welcome back. We're diving into Baltimore's East North Avenue today.
Oh, this is going to be fascinating.
Yeah, you sent us quite the collection of documents on it.
Yeah, a real mix.
Historical accounts, planning proposals.
I mean, it really paints a picture.
It does. It shows how much this street has transformed over time and
Well, every city has streets like this, right?
yeah.
They've got their ups and downs.
Right, and now we're seeing this push for revitalization, but
Time.
yeah, we got to understand what the residents actually want, right?
That's the first step, absolutely.
So there's this document called What Do We Want?
That's the one.
It really gets to the heart of their hopes and concerns.
That's what revitalization should be about,
For sure.
More than just like, oh, we'll fix up some buildings.
Right.
Got to be about the people.
Exactly. Make them feel safe.
Connected, empowered.
And they're asking for the fundamentals.
Basic stuff.
Yeah. Better trash pickup.
More access to healthy food, for sure.
Opportunities for young people, the stuff that really makes or breaks a community.
Absolutely. It's those everyday things that can make a huge difference.
All right, so before we get too far into their vision for the future,
Yeah.
let's rewind a bit, take us back.
Okay, back in time.
Paint us a picture of East North Avenue in its heyday.
All right, so picture this, okay? A grand boulevard,
Right.
lined with stately homes,
Nice.
bustling businesses, streetcars clanging down the middle, people going to work, people out for leisure.
Sounds pretty grand.
It was. And get this, there's even a photo here, President Kennedy.
Wow.
His motorcade going right down East North Avenue in 1962.
That's amazing. What a contrast
I know, right?
to some of the other photos you sent.
Yeah, the more recent ones.
Yeah. Vacant buildings.
Boarded up storefronts.
Yeah, you mentioned almost 20% of properties are vacant right now.
Double the city average.
More than double, wow.
It's a tough reality.
What happened? How did things change so dramatically?
Well, like a lot of cities, the 1968 riots were a turning point. The unrest, the destruction.
Really hit hard.
It did left a mark on the area, businesses closed.
Right.
People moved away. The street lost a lot of its energy.
And then it seems like that decline was made worse by
Well, there were a lot of factors, for sure.
other things.
Yeah.
Like you pointed out, the impact of the Turning Point Methadone Clinic.
That's a tough one. It provides a really important service.
Absolutely, for people struggling with addiction.
Yeah, but it's also brought challenges for the community around it.
So it's like, how do you...
It's a balancing act, right?
Yeah, balance those needs.
How do you provide essential services and also address the concerns of the people living nearby?
It's making me think, maybe there's a way to integrate those services better.
Maybe, yeah.
With community spaces.
More seamlessly.
Yeah, something to think about.
Definitely.
But before we get into solutions, I'm curious about what survived
Yeah,
those tougher times.
right.
You mentioned the Great Blacks and Wax Museum
Oh, yeah, it's a gem.
and Clifton Park.
Oh, fantastic examples of the potential that's still there on East North Avenue.
They are.
I mean, the museum, it's this amazing showcase of African-American achievement
Right.
throughout history. And then Clifton Park.
It's still there.
Yeah, it's a vital green space, even with the challenges it faces.
Yeah, definitely assets to build upon.
For sure.
But we got to be honest, there are serious challenges today
There are.
on East North Avenue.
Yeah.
I mean, the data you provided on crime
Right.
and sanitation,
Yes.
it paints a pretty concerning picture.
Yeah, for example, the number of narcotics calls
Oh, wow.
on East North Avenue, twice the city average.
Twice.
Makes you wonder, how do we turn this around?
Yeah, what gives you hope that this time revitalization will actually work?
Well, let me tell you what gives me hope.
Mhm.
Honestly, it's the sheer amount of effort already going on.
Yeah.
So much energy, so many resources being directed towards East North Avenue right now.
Like what?
Well, you've got the city's Vacants to Value program
Right.
and the state's Project CORE,
Which is focused on.
getting rid of blight,
Right.
creating opportunities, economic opportunities in communities that have been overlooked.
Yeah. And you mentioned the Baltimore Regional Neighborhood Initiative.
The RNI, yeah.
They give grants for community projects, right?
They do.
That seems like it could be really helpful for East North Avenue.
Could be huge.
But with so many different programs,
I know, it's a lot.
all these organizations, how do we make sure everyone's working together?
Right, not just doing their own thing.
Not just in silos.
Exactly. That's where we need a strong CDC.
A CDC?
Community Development Corporation, yeah.
So that would be like
Like a central hub
okay,
for all the revitalization efforts.
bringing everyone together
Residents, businesses, city agencies, everyone
so they're all on the same page
working towards a shared vision.
instead of, like you said, just doing their own thing.
Exactly. We've got good examples to learn from, too,
Oh, yeah.
like the Southwest Baltimore Partnership.
They've done well.
Oh, yeah, they've been really good at getting resources and making sure that development benefits the whole community.
So it's about making sure that,
It's got to be a community-driven process.
yeah, revitalization isn't just something that happens to a place.
Right.
It's got to be done with the people who live there.
Absolutely. With the people who work there who call it home.
And that takes us back to that "what do we want" document.
It does. It's all connected.
It lays out what residents want to see.
Specific things.
And a CDC could really help make that happen.
Yeah, turn those aspirations into reality.
You know, it's interesting. A lot of what they're asking for,
Yeah,
it's not fancy stuff.
not at all.
Just basic things.
Essentials.
Safe streets,
Yeah,
reliable trash collection,
right.
access to fresh food.
Things that we shouldn't have to fight for.
It's easy to forget that not everyone has those things.
It is. It's a good reminder.
Revitalization can't just be about big projects
Yeah.
or attracting new businesses.
It's got to start with the basics.
It's got to be about creating a place where people can live,
With dignity.
meet their basic needs.
Exactly.
Speaking of meeting needs, you told me this amazing story about Edwin Charpe
Oh, Edwin.
and the Duncan Street Miracle Garden.
Oh, what he did. It's just incredible.
He took a vacant lot, basically a dumping ground,
Yeah, it was a mess.
and turned it into this
A beautiful community space.
really
Let's
inspiring.
talk about community resilience,
He
right?
didn't wait for someone else to fix it.
No, he took action.
And now it provides fresh produce,
A gathering place for
the
neighbors,
symbol of hope.
for the whole community.
What if we could bottle that energy
I know,
and
right?
spread it all across East North Avenue?
Imagine the possibilities.
You mentioned the concept of an agrihood.
Yeah, it's an interesting model.
What's an agrihood?
So basically, it's a community that's centered around urban agriculture.
Okay.
Think gardens, farms, food businesses, all woven into the neighborhood.
So instead of vacant lots and abandoned buildings,
You've got these thriving green spaces.
producing food,
Creating jobs.
bringing people together.
Exactly.
There's an example of this in Detroit,
Right, there is. It's a neighborhood that was really struggling.
and they turned it into an agrihood.
They did, and it's making a huge difference.
But would it work in Baltimore?
That's the question, right?
What about the challenges?
Like land acquisition.
Getting the community on board?
Yeah, there are a lot of pieces to the puzzle.
Even if a full-fledged agrihood isn't feasible,
Right, it might not be.
we can still incorporate urban agriculture
Absolutely.
into the revitalization.
In smaller ways.
We're already seeing it
We are.
with the Baltimore Food Hub.
Oh, that's a fantastic project.
They're tackling food insecurity
And creating economic opportunities.
in what was a food desert.
Yeah, it's really impressive.
They've got food producers, distributors, retailers, all under one roof.
A whole ecosystem for local food.
It's amazing.
And it's not just about the food, right?
Wow.
It's about jobs.
Yeah.
It's about supporting local businesses.
It's a community gathering space.
It's a model that could work in other parts of East North Avenue.
And it's not just about food either.
No, there's so much potential.
You mentioned closing the digital divide,
Yeah.
promoting green technology.
East North Avenue could be a leader in this,
There are already organizations working on it,
like Civic Works.
and their Center for Green Careers.
They're training residents for jobs in the green economy.
What a game changer.
It could be. Equip people with the skills they need.
For the future.
Create a more sustainable future for everyone.
Okay, let's talk about those green spaces.
Oh, yeah. They're all around East North Avenue.
You've got Greenmount Cemetery,
Baltimore Cemetery,
Clifton Park.
all those community gardens.
So much green space.
We need to connect them better.
Make them more accessible.
Activate them in new ways.
What do you mean?
Well, for starters, let's take down that razor wire
The razor wire.
on the wall of Greenmount Cemetery.
Really?
Yeah, and put it in a nice walking path.
A perimeter path.
Yeah, make it welcoming.
So people can enjoy the space.
Walk, jog, birdwatch, whatever they like.
That's a great idea.
It would really soften the feel of the area.
Yeah, and Clifton Park, what about that?
Imagine a bike path,
More playgrounds
an outdoor amphitheater.
for concerts and plays.
It could be a real destination for families.
That would be amazing.
We need to think outside the box.
Reimagine what's already there.
Make it work for the community.
And it doesn't always have to be big, expensive projects.
No, sometimes the small things make the biggest difference.
Like the AFRO's Clean Green Block campaign,
Exactly. Residents taking ownership of their neighborhood
working together.
to make it beautiful.
It all adds up. When people work together, it's amazing what they can achieve.
It really is. Like that saying.
Many hands make light work
Exactly. And that's what we need here.
on East North Avenue.
Revitalizing this street, it can't just be the city's job.
Or big developers.
It's got to be a collective effort.
Everyone who cares about this community.
All chipping in.
You know, looking back at all these sources,
Yeah.
it's striking the contrast between the photos of East North Avenue in its prime
I know what you mean.
and how it looks today.
Yeah, it's a tough comparison.
It'd be easy to just focus on the problems.
It would be.
But there's this real sense of hope, too,
There is, it comes through.
in everything you sent over.
The people of East North Avenue haven't given up.
They haven't, even after all these years.
Decades of decline.
They're still fighting for their community.
That's what resilience is all about.
It's inspiring.
It is.
It feels like we have a chance here
We do.
to not just bring East North Avenue back to what it was,
But to create something even better.
something new.
Something that reflects the community today.
This isn't about recreating the past,
No, it's about moving forward.
learning from it, building on it.
But also embracing change.
That's what makes this so interesting.
It is.
This deep dive, it's not just about one street.
No, it's bigger than that.
It's about how we revitalize our cities.
What does it take to create communities that truly thrive?
And East North Avenue has a lot to teach us.
It does. Valuable lessons for other neighborhoods facing similar challenges.
It shows that transformation is possible.
It does, but it takes work.
Strategic investment.
Community empowerment.
It takes all of us.
Working together.
And that brings us to you.
Our listener.
We've explored the past, the present, and the potential future of East North Avenue.
Now it's your turn.
Imagine you could invest in East North Avenue.
What would you do?
What would you prioritize?
Affordable housing.
Green spaces.
Support for local businesses.
What would you want East North Avenue to become?
It's a question worth thinking about.
Take some time to reflect.
And what you've learned.
Maybe you'll be inspired to get involved.
Volunteer with an organization.
Start a community garden.
Talk to your neighbors.
Every action, big or small,
Can make a difference.
the future of East North Avenue is still being written.
And we can all be part of the story.
Thanks for joining us on this deep dive into East North Avenue.
We hope you found it informative.
And inspiring.
And remember,
Change is possible.
the future is in our hands.